God, we pray that you would shine the light of your truth in our hearts today, that you would feed us by your word. And we thank you, God, that you speak to our hearts individually and help us to receive what we need from you. In Jesus' name, amen. Life, especially life in our modern society, is full of stress and pressure. And it's very high-paced in a lot of ways. And many health issues are rooted in the impact of stress. I know when I was in Toronto for a few days last week, I was shocked at the speed at which people just walk on the sidewalks there. I was just like, you know, in the weekdays especially, just rush, 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 rush. And they're literally speeded up even from what I'm familiar with here in Windsor. Just the pace is just, if you don't fit in with that stream, like prepare to be bumped into, knocked over or something, you know, it was just kind of a little bit of culture shock there. But, you know, that kind of pace of life has increased, and there's many stresses, and these do have an impact on our bodies and on our health. In fact, so many diseases are rooted in stress. But there is good news, for there is medicine that you don't need a prescription for, and it's free, and it's available to us 24/7, 365 days a year. And that medicine is the medicine of laughter and medicine of joy. The Bible tells us in Proverbs, a merry heart does good like a medicine. So it's literally a medicine to us. It does good to us to have a merry heart. Laughter has a powerful effect on your spirit. The Bible is full of scriptures that talk about the importance of laughter and joy, and I've provided a list there for you in your bulletin. And now science is actually catching up, in a sense, or now finding scientific proof that laughter is healing. And something that the Bible was talking about thousands of years ago, now science can actually demonstrate. There's a renowned neurosurgeon, Dr. Avery Jackson, actually does neurosurgery over in the Detroit area, and he is a Christian. But he says God built in mechanisms to heal our imperfect earthly bodies, and laughter is one of them. And having you know, a real knowledge of the brain and the functions of the brain and the nerves, he has seen that laughter is an important medicine to help us to heal. God is a God of laughter. Psalm 2 verse 4 says that the one who rules in heaven laughs. You know, sometimes we don't think of God as laughing, but there it is in the scripture. The one who rules in heaven laughs. Psalm 37 says that the Lord just laughs, for he sees their day of judgment is coming. From God's perspective, all things are answered. And Jesus said this, he said, I have told you these things so that you would be filled with my joy. Yes, your joy will overflow. And so Jesus has a very special kind of joy that he gives us, and he wants that to overflow in our hearts. Now, I know that a lot of traditional religious art has portrayed Jesus as very solemn, you know, very serious, look on his face. And, you know, not to say that Jesus would never have looked solemn or serious, but it just, to portray Jesus with joy and with laughter and with a smile just wasn't done. But particularly in the 70s, there was a portrait that came out called Jesus Laughing, and actually I think that's the one that popped into the announcement part of the bulletin. But I remember when that portrait, it's a sketch of Jesus laughing, came out. It was just kind of like, wow, Jesus laughing? Well, of course. He's got joy, perfect joy in him. So it makes sense that he certainly laughed and rejoiced and relaxed with the disciples and have that laughter as part of his life. The Bible tells us, or Jesus tells us, that heaven is a place of rejoicing and joy. He says there is more joy in heaven when one sinner repents. And even the angels rejoice and dance. So there's joy. There's an atmosphere of joy in heaven. And in Psalm 30 says, "You have turned my mourning into joyful dancing. You have taken away my clothes of mourning and clothed me with joy." So what are the medicinal benefits of laughter as documented in science? Well, science has identified a number of benefits, and I'll go through some of these. First of all, laughter increases your blood flow, and this is really important for health. Whenever you have a really good laugh, whether it's at a funny show or at a joke or those hilarious videos that you see on YouTube, you are actually getting healthier at that moment. Laughter improves your blood flow. And poor blood flow is a root cause of many diseases, especially inflammation. And also, laughter reduces stress hormones. It actually counteracts the stress hormones in your body. It lowers your blood pressure and it activates your immune system. So that's one of the best ways to activate your immune system is through laughter. God made our bodies with built-in healing. And it's amazing the healing that's there in our bodies. But laughter is a part of that medicinal arsenal in our bodies. You know that young children have, on average, 300 good belly laughs a day, whereas the typical adult maybe experiences 10 in a week. So, you see that with children, and I mentioned to the children's time that Dominic, I've got a little video of Dominic laughing, and he was that was 2 months ago, well, that was in September. How did he even know to laugh? But started to laugh, just giggling and laughing away. So laughter is built in. It's part of the way God made us. And it's very important to our health. And even the interesting thing is, a put-on laugh is beneficial. And I know Janice in our congregation, Smith, teaches and has workshops on laughter. And, just the actual exercise of just ho, 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 ha, 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 actually your body doesn't know the difference. It will have the same physiological results as a genuine laugh. In fact, what happens is sometimes you start laughing anyway. Even if you just kind of put it on to start, then you will have a real true laughter starting to come up. It's very important to laugh even when you feel like you can't or don't want to, because that's the moment when you really need that benefit of laughter. Another good thing is to just watch comedies, good comedies, or read funny material. You can just laugh. You can practice laughing even just while you're driving. Don't worry about the other drivers. They'll just think you're listening to something funny on the radio, I don't know. But you can practice it in the shower. You can just build laughter into your daily life, and it will actually do you good like a medicine. A merry heart does good like a medicine. And here's another amazing result of laughter. It actually reduces pain. That is amazing. Our society now, we have a very serious opioid epidemic, and people are seeking relief from pain, and you can understand that. But then they're given these highly addictive prescription painkillers, and then it can get into a very dangerous cycle. Pain relief obviously is often very necessary, but it's good to know that God has built in a natural prescription for pain, and that's laughter. Another good reducer of pain is exercise is good. But I want to particularly look at laughter. Laughter chemically releases a natural hormone called dopamine, and it is a painkiller. It will actually help reduce pain. So people that are experiencing pain, now science is saying, laugh. Find something funny to laugh at, and that will actually reduce the pain. The New England Journal, Medical Journal, reported that just 10 minutes of really good belly laughter relieved pain for up to 2 hours. That's kind of amazing when you think that. And you haven't had to take an addictive medicine to do that. So this truth actually changed the life of a man who was sent home with a terminal condition. He knew the Bible truth about a merry heart doing good like a medicine. And so he would spend hours every day watching episodes of I Love Lucy. I still find that show very funny. And thankfully it's on a lot. And he just laughed and laughed and laughed, and he fully recovered. This was a terminal disease, sent him home. Sorry, there's nothing more we can do for you. And this man recovered. Another benefit is that laughter prevents disease. It actually, it releases muscle tension, but it also boosts your immune system and so prevents disease. It increases what they call the feel-good hormones, and it also burns calories and increases your overall sense of well-being. So that's a lot of physical benefits. And the more you can counteract stress, the less vulnerable you are to sickness and disease. That's a strengthening of your immune system. Also, laughter improves our emotional health, particularly when we're in a time of great difficulty or sorrow. Laughter can strengthen our emotional health. And one of the best things that we can do on a stressful time is to laugh, to find things to laugh at. And even just in our day-to-day lives, we have those days when it seems like everything goes wrong. You know, you spill your coffee, whatever, you've forgotten something important that you wanted to bring, or just laugh at it. Don't get yourself into a tizzy and start fretting about it. It's important to just laugh, and as you do it, your mood will lighten and you'll realize, it's no big deal. But particularly in those times of trauma, people who've undergone really serious trauma, laughter is part of that built-in healing that can help you so much and can really actually help people to get out of depression through laughter.
She needs a different mic.
It's also very important to realize that the enemy sets us up to get upset a lot of times. He sets little things up to cause us, hopefully, to just get upset. And let's just turn the tables on him by laughing. He doesn't know what to do with that if we're laughing. And actually, it not only relieves stress, it helps us to gain a better perspective of the world, because what can happen is, particularly through a serious trauma, our vision of the world can start to be skewed, and we can have a depressed point of view, so to speak. But laughter can counteract that. And so it really can affect your emotional health in a very important way. The Bible also says that the joy of the Lord is our strength. It's the source of our strength. So one way to access the joy of the Lord is through laughter. And so if you do begin to feel a little, weary or despondent or any of those things, try to seek out laughter, something that will make you laugh, or just plain laugh. And lastly of all, laughing strengthens our spirit. It strengthens that inner part of us that's connected to God, because it accesses the joy of the Lord. That's God's joy. That's an undergirding sense of, no matter what's going on, that joy is always there. And it connects us with God's grace and love. Jesus said something amazing about preparing his disciples for the persecution that they would face. And he said, when that happens, rejoice in that day. Leap for joy, for your reward is great in heaven. But he instructs them literally to to rejoice and to leap, or to dance in a sense. Even when we've been treated despitefully or people said harsh things about us, rejoicing actually is a healing thing. It's the last thing we feel like doing. But as we rejoice, it actually releases the power of God into the situation. You know, the very thing that the enemy wanted to cause, you know, you sidetrack it. He just doesn't even know what to do when we laugh. In fact, you know, I think because he is pride, he is proudful, laughter just, he runs away at that. Doesn't like to be laughed at. So whenever we run into a situation where, whether it's persecution or just, you know, a lot of difficulties that have just crossed your path, the best thing you can do is just say, ha, ha, ha. You know, this is not going to stop me. I'm not going to be discouraged. Just keep saying it until the joy of the Lord rises up in you. And so I have something I'm hoping I can get through. I'm going to share with you some bulletin bloopers, and some of these are kind of, you know, they've been around a while, but as I was pulling them off the internet this week, I was laughing so hard. June came into my office and just said, you know, are you preparing for this week's message by any chance? She had it figured. Okay, so bulletin bloopers, and I'm just going to read these out. The pastor would appreciate it if the ladies of the congregation would lend him their electric girdles for the pancake breakfast next Sunday morning. The audience is asked to remain seated until the end of the recession. The low-esteem self-support group will meet Thursday from 7 to 8:30. Please use the back door. Ushers will eat latecomers. The third verse of Blessed Assurance will be sung without musical accompaniment. Those of you who have children and don't know it, we have a nursery downstairs. The pastor will preach his farewell message, after which the choir will sing, "Break Forth into Joy." During the absence of our pastor, we enjoyed the rare privilege of hearing a good sermon when F.G. Stubbs, the power of prophet. Ladies, don't forget the rummage sale. It's a good chance to get rid of those things not worth keeping around the house. Bring your husbands. And this was on a church sign, "Don't let worry kill you off, let the church help." An announcement in a bulletin, Irving Benson and Jessie Carter were married on October 24th in the church. So ends a friendship that began in their school days. The ladies of the church have cast off clothing of every kind, and they may be seen in the church basement on Friday. This afternoon will be a meeting in the north and south ends of the church. Children will be baptized at both ends. Potluck supper, Sunday at 5 o'clock. Prayer and medication to follow. Weight Watchers will meet at 7 o'clock p.m. Please use the large double door at the side entrance. The Reverend Adams spoke briefly, much to the delight of the audience. A new loudspeaker system has been installed in the church. It was given by one of our members in honor of his wife. Applications are now being accepted for 2-year-old nursery helpers. The choir invites any member of the congregation who enjoys singing to join the choir. And the last one, this being Easter Sunday, we will ask Mrs. Lewis to come forward and lay an egg on the altar. Let's pray. We thank you, God, for filling our hearts with laughter this day, for giving us the joy of the Lord, and help us to continue to remember through all of our days to laugh every single day. In Jesus' name.